All right, guys. Good morning, beta. So we were discussing about scenario analysis the other day. I told you what is the difference between sensitivity analysis and scenario analysis. All right. Under sensitivity analysis, guys, I said that we change only one variable. Under scenario analysis, as such, beta, we change a group of variable at once. Okay. There was one homework question given. Are you all done with it? Kya beta? What is the NPV under the worst case scenario? Huh? Question number 23 beta. Negative 1 worst case scenario mein we are getting an NPV of negative 1096. पूरा ही लिख लेना यार अब thousands बोल के negative 1,09,956. Most likely scenario beta 1,01,089 positive. A little difference is fine beta. Best case scenario 3,01,000 12,135. Did you all write this beta? Now what will be your conclusion guys? और एक if XYZ is certain about the most likely result beta in the first 2 years but uncertain about the third year's cash flow, analyze what will be the NPV expecting worst case scenario in the third year. So we have most likely beta for first 2 years, and then beta worst case for the third year. What will be the NPV beta here? 23,872. Even then the NPV is positive. What will you do beta? Will you take it up? What should be the conclusion guys? पहले बेटा यहाँ पे we do not know the probabilities of the worst case, most likely and the best case scenario. If you are assuming equal probabilities, what will be the expected NPV? If you assume equal probabilities, beta, what will be the expected NPV? नहीं करे वो कितना है 1,01,089. ये बीच वाला ही आ रहा है पक्का. हाँ कंक्लूजन लिखो बेटा. राइट द कंक्लूजन. ये कंक्लूजन इज टू द फर्स्ट बिट गाइस जो अपन एनपीवीज कंप्यूट किए. द प्रोबेबिलिटीज ऑफ worst case, most likely and best case scenario are not given. Probabilities of the worst case, most likely and the best case scenario are not given. Assuming equal probabilities, expected NPV will be assuming equal probabilities, expected NPV will be जैसे लिखो बेटा negative 1,09,956 plus 1,01,089 plus 3,12,135 all divided by 3. कितना हो जाएगा बेटा ये 10 बीच वाला जा रहा है 10,10,89. Assuming equal probabilities, beta, expected NPV is 10,10,89. On the basis of expected NPV, the project should be accepted. On the basis of expected NPV, the project should be accepted. The project should be accepted. ये one basis है बेटा. What is the other way of analyzing it? Alternatively, if the chance of occurrence of the worst case scenario is high, Alternatively, if the chance of occurrence of the worst case scenario is high, if the chance of occurrence of the worst case scenario is high, worst case scenario is high, the project should not be taken up. The project should not be taken up. The project should not be taken up. Question 24, guys, now. How? The scenario analysis है ना बेटा, not always decisions are taken on the basis of expected NPV. क्योंकि अगर expected NPV के basis पे ही करना था, तो why have scenarios? Following are the estimates of the net cash flows and probability of a new project of measures X limited. Initial investment is given beta probability 0.3, 0.5, 0.2. सबका initial investment is same. However, the estimated net after tax cash inflows per year will depend on these scenarios. Salvage value also will depend on these three scenarios. वो छोड़ दे बेटा, पहले इस पे ध्यान दे, वरना ये भी छूट जाएगा. Required rate of return from the project is 10%. Find out the expected NPV. Expected NPV beta is average of all the three. ठीक है? It is not one with the one with the highest probability is called as most likely. Highest probability. The one, guys, with the highest NPV is called as your best case scenario. The one with the least amount of NPV beta will be termed as your worst case scenario. So they've given us beta as to what should be your best case NPV, worst case NPV, expected NPV. एक ही चीज नहीं पूछा, and that is most likely NPV. Instead, to answer the first bit beta, we will compute NPV at all the three scenarios and then take average. मतलब multiply by the corresponding probabilities. शुरू हो जाओ guys. Let us all arrive at the NPV beta. Scenario 1. Probability is 0.3. You can directly write present value of cash inflows. The cash flows are given in the question beta. You will get how much, guys, every year? 1 lakh rupees every year. Discounting rate is 10%. So you can multiply that by 10% for 5 years. And your salvage value beta is 20,000. So 20,000 into present value factor at 10% for the 5th year. This will be the present value of cash inflows. Good. 3,91,497. You know that your initial investment is how much beta? 4 lakh rupees. Therefore, NPV will be negative 8,503. This will be your NPV, guys. करो बेटा बाकी के दोनों. Yes, but what are the NPVs that you got, guys, under the other two cases? Scenario 2 में कितना है बेटा? The probability of which is 0.5. Present value of cash inflows is 1,10,000 multiplied by PVAF beta at a rate of 10% for 5 years, guys, and plus 50,000 rupees multiplied by present value factor at 10% for the 5th year. कितना ही है? 4,48,000. The investment beta is 4 lakh rupees, therefore your NPV beta will be 48,033. Last वाला बेटा वो भी हो गया. Probability is 0.2, guys. PVCI beta would be 1,20,000 multiplied by PVAF at 10% for 5 years, guys, and plus this is how much beta? 60,000 into present value factor at 10% for the 5th year. कितना हो जाएगा guys ये? 92,150. Your investment is still 4 lakhs, guys. Therefore, the amount of NPV beta would be 92,150. Your NPV beta would be 92,150. Any doubt in this? Now, guys, first bit beta क्या पूछा वो? Expected NPV. Expected NPV, guys. What will be the answer, guys? You will have to take all the three individual NPVs as such, guys, and multiply them by the corresponding probabilities. First वाला NPV कितना था बेटा? -8503. That you will multiply by 0.3. Second वाला NPV बेटा 48,033. That you will multiply by 0.5. Last वाला is 92,150 multiply by 0.2. कितना हो गया बेटा? 39,000. This will be your expected NPV, guys. Best case NPV beta is what? The highest NPV. What is your highest NPV, guys? 92,150. Worst case NPV beta is the lowest NPV. Your lowest NPV beta is negative 8503. These are the answers to the first two bits. We have an expected NPV of 39,896. We have a best case NPV of 92,150 and a worst case NPV of negative 8,503. Any doubt in this? Next beta. Look at the third bit, guys. सबका हो गया guys ये? Third bit अलग है guys, इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ. The probability of occurrence of the worst case if the cash flows are perfectly dependent over time and independent over time. Can someone answer this beta? What is he asking us to do? Worst case NPV we know beta is 8503. He's asking us to compute the probability if the cash flows are perfectly dependent and perfectly independent. Perfectly dependent or perfectly independent and such, guys, would mean in relation to the previous year. What will be the answer to this, Beta? What is the probability of the worst case NPV? Online students, if you figured it out, you can type and send the answer, Beta. Perfectly dependent का answer is 30%, beta 0.3. But what is perfectly independent? Perfectly dependent मतलब क्या, guys? If it is 1 lakh in the first year, every year it will remain at 1 lakh. याद है ना Hiller's model में बेटा cash flows are correlated, cash flows are dependent, cash flows are independent. What should be the answer if the cash flows are perfectly independent? Independent with 30%. Not 30%, guys. Every year. Yes, beta. करेक्ट ही है बट बोल परफेक्ट आंसर बोल. इट कैन नॉट बी 243%. नो पॉइंट. चल क्रिश आज अलग ही नींद में तो. दिवाली शादी दिवाली की कल ही पार्टी कर लिया. Varun wants to answer it seems guys. Point 2 point. How can the probability? No guys. सड्डी जान भी तो. Any other answer? बोल दो. हाँ बेटा. 0.3 power 5. If the cash flows are independent as such guys, it means whatever is happening in the second year is nowhere related to the first year. In the first year, beta, there are three outcomes. Cash flow can be 1 lakh, cash flow can be 1 lakh 10,000, cash flow can be 1 lakh 20,000. The probability is 0.3, 0.5, 0.2. This is year 1 guys. Year 2 guys, each of this will result in three outcomes. Yes or no? 0.3 beta 1 lakh, year 2. All of this beta will again result in three outcomes. Again 0.3 1 lakh. Again beta three outcomes. Year 4, 0.3 1 lakh. Year 5 guys again 0.31 lakh. When will the worst possible scenario occur? When the cash flows are 1 lakh in each year as such beta, the worst possible scenario will occur. Yes or no? Any other combination guys will give us a little better answer. Matlab even in 1 year if it is deviating, it will still be better than the previous year. So matlab worst case NPV. हाँ या ना guys? So that is why this combination beta is going to give you the worst case scenario. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? Only if the cash flow is 0.3 1 lakh beta every year, therefore it is 0.3 power 5. अगर वही बेटा cash flows are dependent बेटा तेरी, if the cash flows are dependent इसका मतलब क्या हो जाएगा बेटा, once in year 1 you determine guys whether it is 1 lakh or 1 lakh 10 or 1 lakh 20,000, the probability of which is 0.3 0.5 0.2. Every year there is only one possibility. I thought you would answer this better after I spoke about Hiller's model. Hiller's model में भी तो ऐसे ही बताया ना कि ऐसे ऐसे आउटकम्स पॉसिबल है बोल के करे होंगे सर, वहां पे आप प्रोबेबिलिटी थोड़ी बोले. सो देयर इज ओनली वन आउटकम गाइस हियर. सो द आंसर इज 0.3 into 1 into 1 into 1 into 1, that is nothing but 0.3. बट यहाँ पे द आंसर इज 0.3 पावर 5. नहीं नहीं नहीं, salvage value is also in the fifth year, so the outcome of the fifth year will determine salvage value. It is not in the subsequent year. So you will not have to assign probability for salvage value guys. उसका डाउट समझे ना कि apart from yearly cash flow there is also salvage value. When I was a student I also got the same doubt as such better, but then it is in the fifth year, it is not after the fifth year. If it was sixth year का something better, then again that would depend on what is happening in the sixth year, so again probability would come into picture. Copy करो बेटा ये ऐसा. I'll give a note guys, you copy. Write down, guys. The worst case scenario will arise. The worst case scenario will arise only if. The worst case scenario will arise only if. Only if the cash flow is 1 lakh rupees every year. 1 lakh rupees every year. 1 lakh rupees every year. Any other combination. Any other combination. Any other combination. Any other combination will result in a higher NPV. Will result in a higher NPV. Will result in a higher NPV. Therefore, the probability of the worst case scenario is. The probability of the worst case scenario is. The probability of the worst case scenario is 0.3 into 0.3 into 0.3 into 0.3. ऐसे 5 बार लिखो बेटा. 0.3 into 0.3 into 0.3 into 0.3 into 0.3. This is for each of the years, guys. So that will be 0.3 power 5, 0.0243. 0.00243 है, हाँ? तो 0.00243, हाँ. तो 0.00243. 0.00243 लिखे बेटा वो. नेक्स्ट राइट दिस बेटा, डिपेंडेंट बोल के लिखो. राइट दिस बेटा एज डिपेंडेंट. डिपेंडेंट. लिखे guys. Now under dependent, guys, what will be the probability? Now probability of worst case scenario. Probability of worst case scenario is. Probability of worst case scenario is 0.3 into 1 into 1 into 1. 0.3 into 1 into 1 into 1 4 times लिखना. 0.3 into 1 into 1 into 1 into 1. Why am I writing into 1 into 1 into 1 beta? Subsequent your probability of getting 1 lakh beta will become 1 if it is 1 lakh in the first year, क्योंकि it is dependent beta. Any doubt in this, guys? Now beta, in the fourth case as such, guys, you will have to arrive at the क्या बेटा ये हो गया ना, standard deviation and coefficient of variation, assuming that there are only 3 streams of cash flows which are represented by each column of the table. अब ये bit के लिए बेटा implied assumption that the cash flows are dependent, क्योंकि you will have to pick up those 3 NPVs and then pick up compute standard deviation. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? You will have to pick up those 3 NPVs as such, guys, and then compute standard deviation. What are the 3 NPVs, guys? Can you tell me एक बार वापस? एक negative 8,503, 48,033, 150. These are your 3 NPVs. You already know beta expected NPV कितना X bar 890. These are the NPVs. This is your expected NPV beta based on this compute standard deviation. Standard deviation के लिए क्या ये XI हो गया बेटा, ये X bar हो गया. कैसे करोगे स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन के लिए? XI माइनस एक्स बार होल स्क्वायर मल्टीप्लाइड बाय प्रोबेबिलिटी. XI माइनस एक्स बार होल स्क्वायर बेटा मल्टीप्लाइड बाय प्रोबेबिलिटी. कितना है बेटा वेरिएंस लिखी या डायरेक्टली स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन? लिख दी स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन। -8503 बेटा -39,896 दोनों का स्क्वायर बेटा मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 0.3 नेक्स्ट 48,033 बेटा -39,896 होल स्क्वायर मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 0.5 92150 -39,896 होल स्क्वायर बेटा मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 0.2 टोटल बेटा वेरिएंस लिखिए स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन। अरे ओके बेटा अलग आंसर रहता। वेरिएंस करा बेटा कोई 12819 40 डबल 48 दिस इज वेरिएंस बेटा गया तेरा। स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन इज रूट ऑफ दिस बेटा वो भी बोल दे 35,804 पॉइंट बस है 35,804 beta is your standard deviation. You know your expected NPV, you know your standard deviation beta. How will you arrive at क्या बचे सर अभी coefficient of variation beta? This is your standard deviation guys. Answer to the fourth bit guys. Now coefficient of variation beta. Coefficient of variation guys will be equal to standard deviation divided by mean into 100. So, divided by mean 35,804 beta divided by 39,896. 0.8974. This is your coefficient of variation guys. Your coefficient of variation beta is 0.8974. सब लोग check करो बेटा. You all done with the calculation? हाँ नेक्स्ट टॉपिक्स दोनों है जो तुम लोग नहीं करे इंटर में बट ठीक है देख लेना एक बार. Are we all clear about this guys? Coefficient of variation done. Fifth bit बेटा बोल रहा है that coefficient of variation of x limited on its average project which is in the range of 0.95 to 1. However, in the given case beta it says if the coefficient of variation of the project is found to be less risky than average guys, then 100 basis points are deducted from the company's cost of capital should the project be accepted by X Limited. 100 basis points are deducted. Matlab 1% is deducted. What is your existing cost of capital? 10%. They will now reduce it to 9%. You will have to recompute the NPV. I know guys the answer is anyways positive at 10%. At 9% it will be even a higher positive figure. But you're still supposed to compute your NPV. So if you want you can directly compute expected cash flow of each year guys and then do it. Instead of computing 3 different NPVs, we can compute cash flow if I multiply by probabilities beta, then I can directly arrive at the answer. No? क्या करना है? Do you want to compute 3 different NPVs and then compute expected NPV, or do you want to compute one single NPV? One single NPV. तुम लोग coefficient of variation guys is 0.8974. Therefore, this project is less riskier. This project is less riskier. Cost of capital क्या हो जाएगा बेटा अभी now? Cost of capital beta will be 10% minus 100 basis points, which is 1%. So that beta will be 9%. Instead of 3 NPVs, we can directly compute expected cash flow. We can compute expected cash flow beta. What is expected cash flow guys every year? 1 lakh into 0.3, 1,10,000 into 0.5 plus 1,20,000 into 0.2. 1 lakh एज अ हायर वेटेज. कितना हो गया बेटा ये? 1 lakh. समझ में आ रहा है ना क्या कर रहा हूँ? दिस इज व्हाट वी यूज्ड टू डू बिफोर आल्सो गाइस. एक्सपेक्टेड साल्वेज वैल्यू के लिए भी क्या करोगे बेटा? 20,000 into 0.3 plus 50,000 into 0.5 plus 60,000 into 0.2. How much is that, guys? 30? 43,000. You know what is your expected cash flow per annum. You know what is your expected salvage value, guys. Using these two figures, you're supposed to arrive at your expected NPV now. क्या हुआ निकेत? आंसर आया? Present value of cash inflows, but I'll directly discount 1,09,000, guys. Remember the discounting rate is 9% now and not 10%. Salvage value is 43,000. How much will this be, guys? 1,09,000 multiplied by 9% for 5 years and 43,000 beta multiplied by 9% for the 5th year. Yes, guys. कितना बेटा ये present value of cash inflows? 4 lakh? 9? Your investment beta was 4 lakh rupees. Therefore, your expected NPV is 51,919. 51,919. Done, guys. What will you write, beta? Will the project be accepted? Because the expected NPV is positive as such, guys, the project should be, write that, beta. As the expected NPV is positive, the project should be accepted. समझ में आया बेटा ये? Question number 25, guys, now. 25th question, guys. Similar question, beta. They are given us terminal values. They are asking us to compute probable NPV. Probable NPV मतलब क्या, guys? Expected NPV. Start, guys. Quick. पहले भी बोल चुका हूँ क्लास में, च्युइंगम्स मत खाओ क्लास में. I told you earlier also guys. खाना खाना अलग है. Yes guys, are you all done beta? Can you tell me what are the NPVs guys? बोल बेटा. You will have to compute all the three NPVs guys instead of directly computing expected cash flow, क्योंकि second bit में क्या है, worst case and best case, उसके लिए anyways करना ही पड़ेगा ना. तो compute all the three NPVs separately बेटा. First case में what is the NPV guys? एक second. Salvage value 0 है ना first case में? The salvage value is 0 guys. So the present value of cash inflows is how much beta? 62 lakhs 342 guys. Your investment guys in all the three cases is 90 lakhs. Your NPV beta would be negative 27 lakhs 45,000 guys 658. This is your negative NPV guys. Second case mein beta, what will be your PVCI guys? You will write 30 lakhs multiplied by PVAF guys at 18% for how many years? 5 years. Salvage value is 20 lakhs. That multiplied by present value factor guys at 18% for the 5th year. These are all simple calculations guys. ये कितना आया बेटा? Present value of cash inflows. 1 crore 2 lakhs 731. Your NPV guys will now be 12 lakhs 55,731. Everyone got the same answers? Third case mein beta, how much is your PVCI guys? 40 lakhs multiplied by PVAF at 18% guys for how many years? 5 years. Salvage value is 30 lakh rupees beta. That multiplied by present value factor at 18% beta for the 5th year. How much will this be? 20,012 rupees. Your NPV beta here will become 48 lakhs 20,000 beta and 12 rupees. These are your three NPVs guys. Everyone got the same answers? सबका हुआ ना बेटा कैलकुलेशन? दाली हो गया तेरा? Probable NPV के लिए क्या करोगे बेटा? You will take all the three NPVs. Probable NPV is nothing but expected NPV. Your expected NPV के लिए बेटा you will have to take all the three individual NPVs and multiply them by the corresponding probabilities. The first NPV was negative 27 lakhs 45,658. This you will multiply by what beta? 0.2. Next wala guys 12 lakhs 55,731. You will multiply by 0.7. And the third one guys 48 lakhs 20,012. You will multiply by 0.1. All of this beta will give us an NPV of how much? नहीं किया पक्का ना? 8,11,880. चाची चेक कर बेटा करेक्ट है क्या? 8,11,881 guys will be your probable NPV. What is the worst case NPV beta? Worst case NPV is negative 27 lakhs 45,658. What's the best case NPV? 48 lakhs 20,012 rupees. What's the probability of occurrence of the worst case if the cash flows are perfectly correlated? Perfectly positively correlated matlab dependent beta. If they are dependent, what should be the probability of the worst case scenario? 0.2. Perfectly positively correlated, meaning they are dependent. Because the cash flows are dependent guys, probability of worst case scenario would be probability of worst case scenario will be 0.2. You just have to take probability of 1 year. Are you all done with this, guys? Gadi, done? Tu, Gadi. पूरे लिख लिए बिट्स. खुशी सिमुलेशन एक्सप्लेन कर बेटा अभी. Yes, guys. Shall we start off? Is everyone done with this? Write the next heading beta in your concept book. Simulation. Simulation. What do you understand by the word simulation, guys? Yes, beta. Simulation beta here is useless, but हाँ कोई real life में use नहीं होता है बेटा. Simulation, guys, is basically beta creating a the actual meaning of the word simulation as such beta is basically replicating a real life scenario as such beta. When you say something is a simulator as such, guys, जैसे आजकल motor driving schools में the simulators that they're using as such, guys, automated, instead of giving you training on road as such, guys, directly first, you're being taught on simulators. थोड़े motor driving schools में आ चुका है बेटा high end. So after that as such beta successful training on the simulator, then there will be training given as such, guys, on the actual roads. Same way beta with pilots as such, guys. Pilot के training beta is first on a simulator. चल जा मतलब directly you will not be like चल we will take one and go बोल के. Doesn't work like that. So there will be training given on a simulator first as such, guys, and then after those training on a simulator or your games also as such beta virtual reality. Most of them are simulators only. मर्क शोरूम में बेटा द सिमुलेटर दैट इज देयर बच्चों को लेके जाके टाइम पास करने के लिए. यस ट्राई करो बेटा. दे कैन नॉट से नो. इट्स अमेजिंग फन द सिमुलेटर एट द मर्क शोरूम. हाँ it's basically beta real life scenario of a racing vehicle as such beta. You just sit there, you drive it as such, guys. So back to this beta. यहाँ पे अपन क्या कर रहे हैं? The situation that we are talking about beta here is basically, guys, again knowing what can be the likely NPV. To know what is a likely NPV as such, guys, of projects, we will randomly pick up values. Randomly pick up values beta is system generated random numbers. The system will give us certain random numbers. Against that random number, we will have to see what is the variable as such, guys. Pick up that variable and then compute NPV as per those random numbers. Say this is your expected NPV बोल के. ऐसे you will have to keep repeating those runs. समझ में आ रहा क्या बोल रहा हूँ बेटा? It's like say, guys, I pick up a chit. Chit के पीछे number is 25. Against 25 as such, guys, say I have a selling price of 40 rupees per unit. I will take 40 rupees per unit selling price. I pick up another chit as such, guys, for variable cost. I pick up another chit as such, guys, say for sales volume. So I am not selecting. I do not have the right to select which selling price, which variable cost, which volume as such, guys. The system generated random numbers will tell us which selling price, which variable cost, which volume are you supposed to select. ऐसे तुम लोग multiple times you will create or you will keep repeating the process as such, guys, and then whatever is the final answers, uska average scenario beta is considered as your expected NPV. It's like how you select as such, guys, transactions for vouching. In most of the cases as such, guys, the system will tell us what are the transactions that are to be selected. Randomly select karta hai beta, random sampling. Exactly that random sampling is what we are using here as such, guys. But then at once only one variable will be selected and you keep repeating the process. And we do not have the option of replacing the sample if the sample is something that we do not want to verify. Test. समझ में आ रहा है बेटा? So those options are not there here. ये audit नहीं है बेटा. This is actual work. Your audit is also actual. हाँ नहीं मालूम है क्योंकि अगर करे तो अगेन देयर बी एक्सप्लेनेशन. ठीक है आगे छोड़ देते हैं बस. एनीवेज गाइस मैं आ रहा है क्या बोल रहा हूँ गाइस. तो नाउ द चैलेंज हियर इज सच बेटा इज बेसिकली यहाँ पे दे डिवाइड द एंटायर सेट ऑफ वेरिएबल्स इनटू टू कैटेगरीज बेटा कॉल्ड एज पैरामीटर्स एंड वेरिएबल्स. पैरामीटर्स आर दोज बेटा दैट आर expected to remain constant, that will not change over the life of a project. Variables are those as such beta that are expected to change, which are uncertain. तो tell me for what values will you need probabilities, for parameters or for variables? Obviously variables. So first thing beta is that you decide what are the variables and then determine the probability distribution of those variables. Probability distribution just like what we did in the other questions. What is the probability that the selling price will be 10? What is the probability that the selling price will be 30? Say you think better that the selling price of the product, arey yaar ye battery. You think that the selling price as such beta can range from say 100 rupees to 140 rupees. 5 scenarios है तुम्हारे हिसाब से. The probability as such guys say of the first one is 0.1, this is say 0.15, this is say 0.25, this is 0.3, this is 0.2. These are your probability. What we do beta is based on these probabilities, you will assign random numbers. क्योंकि जब चिट पे नंबर निकल रहा है, you should know what is the value against that number. For that I will have to compute cumulative probabilities. My cumulative probabilities are this. The random numbers to be assigned are normally 2-digit random numbers. There will be 100 random numbers assigned ranging from 00 to 99. 3-digit 100 is a 3-digit number. ये assignment of random numbers अपन को करना है exam में. They will only give us probabilities. Based on probabilities, our job is to assign random numbers. Normally we assign 2-digit random numbers. Real life it can be 3-digit random numbers also if probabilities are not say 0.1. What if the probability is 0.124? Then I cannot assign 2-digit random numbers. I will have to assign 3-digit random numbers because I will have to take care of the third value also, decimal point. In that case, you will have 1000 random numbers ranging from 000 to 999. But apne liye beta, you will only have 2-digit random numbers beta ranging from 00 to 99. Now, if you have to start with 00, end with 99, guys, and first wale ka probability is 0.1. How many random numbers are you supposed to assign? 0.1 matlab 10%. So how many random numbers should be allocated to the first one? 10 random numbers. Starting with 00, I should end with 09. 00 to 09 beta is you allocating 10 random numbers. Yes or no? The next random number series should start with 10. कितना बेटा इसका probability 0.15. I have to assign 15 random numbers starting with 10. I have to end with ये जो भी cumulative probability रहती है ना बेटा उसमें से -1 क्योंकि we are starting with 00. We are not starting with 01. The next set of random numbers beta will start with 25. The probability is 0.25, which means I have to assign how many random numbers? 25 random numbers. I will end with what beta? 49. Probability, cumulative probability is 0.5 guys, so end with 49. Next, start with 50. Probability is 0.3. कितने random numbers? 79, 80 to 99. This is allocation of random numbers. Now system generated random numbers. ठीक है? In real life beta, अभी they will give us a list of random numbers. In real life, you can go in any order, even if you have a random number table. क्योंकि the whole objective of this is to be random. But अपने लिए बेटा we will have to go in the order given in the question because otherwise every student will get a different answer. I can pick up the last random number guys and then apply. I can pick up the first random number and then apply. But we will go in the order. Are we crystal clear about it? Once the system throws a random number of say 80, which selling price will I pick up? 140. If the system picks up a random number of say beta 15, 110. Depending on the random number beta, you pick up those values and then you compute the NPVs. Keep repeating the process till you have a very last sample of NPVs and then you take an average scenario of those last sample. Useless thing, no? No one does this in real life beta, but this is still there in your syllabus. You still have to do it. Pehle to beta, there used to be a separate topic called as simulation under costing. One entire topic dedicated to this chapter. OR, operational research बोल के रहता था बेटा, statistical techniques that we use for cost management purpose. उसमें there used to be 6 topics. One of them was simulation. Every attempt में बेटा 6 marker question था. But हाँ, ऐसा लग रहा है इसमें है तो क्या बोल के. They used to complicate things in this also साथ बेटा. पूछने वाले को दिमाग रहता हो कुछ भी कर सकता. Anyways, are we clear about this? समझ में आया नहीं आया? Write down guys heading. Simulation. They gave only one question as an example as such guys. They did not give anything, so that is why I've included one question guys from the old syllabus for practice. क्योंकि अगर exam में आया तो we should be able to do it बोल के. I did not include the questions of costing क्योंकि if I do that beta I will have 35-40 questions. I included the question of only SFM. Back end जो भी question था back then, that question has been included. देखो बेटा simulation is, इसको मॉन्टे कार्लो सिमुलेशन बोलते हैं बेटा क्योंकि बंदे का नाम मॉन्टे कार्लो था. ब्रैकेट में लिख लो, पेन का नाम भी है. Yes guys, मॉन्टे कार्लो सिमुलेशन ब्रैकेट्स में लिख लेना. Simulation is creating a replica of a real life scenario. Simulation is creating a replica. Simulation is creating a replica of real life scenario. Real life scenario. Real life scenario. Probabilities are computed. Probabilities are computed. Sorry, NPVs are computed. NPVs are computed. NPVs are computed based on probabilities and random numbers generated. Based on probabilities and random numbers generated. Random numbers generated. Random numbers generated. उसके नीचे बेटा point 1. Identify parameters and exogenous variables. They use this word better. That means these are the variables that change. Identify parameters and exogenous variables. Exogenous variables. Continuation beta. Parameters are the values that will remain constant. Parameters are the values that will remain constant. Exogenous variables are uncontrollable factors. Exogenous variables are uncontrollable factors. Exogenous variables are uncontrollable factors. Uncontrollable factors. Uncontrollable factors. Next beta, second point. Identify the probability distributions of exogenous variables. Identify the probability distribution of the exogenous variables. Exogenous variables. And the specific values of the parameters. Specific values beta of parameters. Third point. Assign random numbers to the variables based on probability distribution. Assign random numbers to the variables based on probability distribution. ये सब easy रहता बेटा, but then मालूम रहना चाहिए कि क्या है बल्कि बस. Assign random numbers to the variables based on probability distribution. Based on probability distribution. Brackets are better. We generally allocate 2-digit random numbers ranging from 00 to 99. We generally allocate 2-digit random numbers. We generally allocate 2-digit random numbers ranging from 00 to 99. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट गाइस, एक बार असाइन कर दिया रैंडम नंबर्स, फिर क्या? बेस्ड ऑन सिस्टम जनरेटेड रैंडम नंबर्स, based on system generated random numbers, system generated random numbers, select the values of the exogenous variables. क्या लिखा है बेटा? Pick up the values of exogenous variables. Next guys, compute NPVs, compute NPVs. Compute NPVs and repeat the process to get a large number of simulated NPVs. Repeat the process to get a large number of simulated NPVs. Simulated NPVs. Next. इसके बाद में यूजुअली बेटा अपन को नहीं देगा वो, बट देन रियल लाइफ में दे विल अगेन कंप्यूट mean and standard deviation of all of these NPVs. ठीक है? Next point, compute mean and standard deviation of all the NPVs to know the risk. Compute mean and standard deviation of all the NPVs to know the risk. Compute mean and standard deviation of all the NPVs to know the risk. समझ में आ रहा है? चलो गाइस, क्वेश्चन नंबर 26 बेटा. This was given as an illustration guys, so the question is incomplete. We will just write down few values after this. ठीक है? Annual cash flow beta, they've given us that values can range from 10,000 rupees to 40,000 rupees. Probability beta is 0.02 to 0.15. एक का probability 0.02, 0.03, 0.15, so on till 0.15. Next page पे 0.15. क्या हुआ? Next वाला 0.03, 0.15, 0.15, 0.3, 0.2, 0.15. नहीं. Project life as such guys is again 0.05, 0.1, 0.3, so on till 0.02 guys for a 10-year project life. We will have to compute NPV. NPV नहीं बेटा, we can only compute present value of cash inflows under 10 runs. 10 runs मतलब you will have to repeat the process 10 times. अब ये random number table है बेटा, एग्जाम में ऐसा नहीं देगा. This is just an illustration of ICAI. In the exam, if they give a question, they will give like this. Next question में देखो बेटा, they gave us 30 random numbers. It says first 3 random numbers for first trial. There are 3 variables: selling price, variable cost, and sales volume. So when I pick up this first trial, 81, 32, 60, 81 random number will apply to selling price, 32 will apply to variable cost, 60 will apply to sales volume. But यहाँ पे बेटा he gave us a list of 5-digit random numbers. ऐसा जब देता है, only the first 2 digits should be selected. You can go in any order बेटा in real life. मतलब you can do row wise, you can do column wise as such guys. अपन को 10 बार process repeat करना है. But in the illustration of ICAI as such बेटा, they said ठीक है, let us start column wise. It says you can go from left to right, right to left, whatever order that you want as such बेटा does not matter, because the whole objective of this is to be random. Is that clear guys? But यहाँ पे बेटा, because we would want to match our answer with them, we will go बेटा in the same order. What is that बेटा? Column wise. So if the 5-digit random numbers given, you will pick up only the first 2 digits. Is that clear? First क्या करना है बेटा अपन को? Assign. हाँ? Random variables. These two itself are exogenous variables, better. Cash flow and project life itself is exogenous variables. Are we clear? Assign random numbers. Annual cash flow. Probability is 0.02. इसका मतलब क्या होगा बेटा? Out of 100 random numbers कितने assign करना है? 2 to be assigned. ये क्योंकि अपन पहले नहीं लिखे बेटा, अभी लिखना explanation properly, ठीक है? Similarly guys, 0.03 मतलब how many random numbers to be assigned? 3 random numbers to be assigned because the probability is 0.03. 0.15 मतलब कितने random numbers? 15. You do not have to write till the end. अभी याद रहेगा बेटा, after 1 year, 2 years, you will not remember it. That is why I write that in brackets. What are the how many random numbers are to be assigned? अब directly random numbers लिख सकते हो बेटा, but then preferably if you do cumulative probability, you will not go wrong in assignment of random numbers. Because you know whatever is the cumulative probability, उससे one number less will be the ending point. Cumulative probability. Now random numbers. You know that you'll have to start with 00 and end with 99. First वाले को because there are only 2 random numbers to be assigned बेटा क्या लिखोगे 00 and 01. Next वाले का you have to assign 3 random numbers starting with 02. So you will end at 04. करो बेटा एक बार assign random numbers. This will be 5 to 19, this will be 20 to 34, 35 to 64, 65 to 84 and 85 to 99. This is how you will assign random numbers. The same thing should be done beta for project life also now. Same thing for project life beta, assign random numbers. ऐसे 10 बार रिपीट करना. नेक्स्ट 2 यहाँ पे 2 ही वेरिएबल है ना, वो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में 3 वेरिएबल थे. 53 97 66 99 30 97 यूज हो गया तो वापस 97 66 कैसे आता है? NPV अलग आता, but you cannot do that. Yes guys, project life beta. The probabilities as such, guys, are given as 0.05, 0.10, 0.30, 0.25, 0.15, 0.10, 0.03, 0.02. Discounted 10% ले लो, but and just compute present value of cash inflows. Cumulative probabilities compute करना पड़ेगा. You'll write 0.05, 0.15, 0.45, 0.70, 0.85, 0.95, 0.98 and 1. The random numbers to be allocated, guys. 5 random numbers to the first one, 10 random numbers ending with 14, 14 to 44, 45 to 69, 70 to 84, 85 to 94, 95 to 97, 98 to 99. These are the random numbers that are to be allocated. Done with this? हाँ जान बचा ली बेटा तू आज मेरी. Are you all clear about this बेटा? एक बार ये हो गया guys. What will you write बेटा? सबका हो गया ये assigning random numbers? Sakshi done? Now beta write down. Note लिखो बेटा. Even if 5-digit random numbers are given, consider only the. लिखो वो. Even if 5-digit random numbers are given, consider only the first two. Consider only the first two. First 2 digits बेटा. नहीं. We can select in any order बेटा. अभी अपन क्या कर रहे हैं? Column wise guys. Why column wise? I say because my बाप says बेटा अपना to do it as per ICAI. एक ही illustration है बेटा उनके पूरे material में. That is why I'm doing it. ठीक है? So guys, what will you write बेटा here? Random number to be selected beta will be 53. This is for what beta? Cash flow. The first random number will be for cash flow. The second random number is such beta will be for project life. What is the second random number guys? 97. If the random number is 53, इसको बोलते हैं one run guys. 53, 97 has become one run. ऐसे how many runs should we do guys? 10 runs. Alright. So the next random number बेटा बोलो क्या रहेगा? 66 for cash flow and 99 for project life. Next 30 and 81. पहले random numbers लिख लेते हैं. Next 19 and 09. Next 31 and 67. First column exhausted. Next बेटा 81 and 70. 38 and 75. सुन लो बेटा एक बार हो जाएगा. 48 and 83 guys. 90 and 33. 58 and 52. पहले बेटा पूरे कैश फ्लोज लिख लेना ताकि इजियर रहेगा and then we will write the entire life. Now बेटा tell me what is the value guys against a random number of 53 in the cash flow table. In the cash flow table guys, what is the value against 53 random number? 30,000. Against 66 random number 30, 35. Against 30 random number 20. ये notes में अपने material में नहीं. The random numbers that we have written guys in the notes, इसमें से you will have to pick up. Material में the values are not given guys. सो हियर बेटा 30 के अगेंस्ट रैंडम नंबर क्या है बेटा? एक सेकंड सुन लो बे, लिखते जा रहे। साई किरण सुन रहे नहीं वो? कितना है बेटा 30 के अगेंस्ट? साई किरण नो చెప్పు 30 के अगेंस्ट रैंडम नंबर के अगेंस्ट वैल्यू ఎంత? 20 25,000। 19 के अगेंस्ट 31 81 35,000। 38 बेटा, हाँ 30,000 अगेंस्ट 48 90 40,000 58। These are your cash flows to be considered guys। अभी बेटा वैसे ही लाइफ में बेटा what is the value guys? How many years? Against a random number of 97 बेटा we have 9 years। 99 के against 10 years। 81 7 years। 9 4 years। 67 6 70 पूरे 7 7 7 next, हाँ These are your lives to be considered। अब क्या कंप्यूट करना है बेटा? प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ कैश इनफ्लोज। अज्यूम डिस्काउंटिंग रेट इज 10%। समझ में आ रहा है? You have to do only 10 runs बेटा, that is why we exhausted only the first 2 columns, वरना you will go till the end। Start guys। Write the values and compute present value of cash inflows बेटा by taking a discounting rate of 10%। Values here guys पूरे लिख लिए ना? You have to discount those cash flows guys for a span of 10 years। Huh? 9 years, 10 years, 7 years depending on the life of the project at 10% I meant बेटा। हो गए पूरे हो गए, एक थोड़ी मेहनत करने देना। अपन लिखते कि सब लोग हाँ वी नो बोल के लिख लेते। Yes guys, all of you do it better। Online students, I hope you're doing it better। Yes, guys. What is the present value of cash inflows beta in the first case? 172 771 60. Next. 121710 9. Huh? 108882 395. 146053. These are all the present value of cash flows, guys, at different possibilities. Are we clear, guys? इसको बोलते सिमुलेशन. समझ में आया बेटा? So you're deciding whether a business should be taken up or not based on random numbers. हाँ? क्या है कि समझ में नहीं आता है लाइट. Next, guys. Next question, beta. If you're all done with this, did you all compute this present values, beta? Please check. You'll get 172, 771, 215060, 121710, 63397. That discounting rate of 10% we have assumed, guys. It is not given in the question. 170395 and so on. 146053. नहीं हुआ अभी तक. हो गया बेटा ना. अलग ही धुन में रहती तो. 15163113065 Saccharine hypernani. If you're all done with this, beta, can we start off the next question, guys? Again, simulation basis here, beta. This was the question that has come in the examination long back, beta. Question number 27, guys. 27th one. 3 variables, guys, you're supposed to determine. शुरू करेंगे next question. खुशी हो गया ये. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन कर रही है. तुम लोग बोलो ना यार, मेरे को लग रहा तुम लोग पढ़ रहे अभी भी बोल के. The management of ABC company, guys, is considering the question of marketing a new product. The fixed cost required in the project is 4,000 rupees. This will be a parameter. This will not be an exogenous variable because irrespective of the scenarios, beta, you will take the fixed cost constant at 4,000 rupees. 3 factors are uncertain, which is selling price, variable cost, and annual sales volume. Exogenous variables. The product has a life of only 1 year. The management has the data on these 3 factors is under. Selling price can range from 3 rupees to 5 rupees. But there's a 0.2% chance that it will be 3 rupees, 0.5% chance that it is 4, 0.3 that it is 5. Variable cost का probability दिया हुआ है, sales volume का भी probability दिया हुआ है. Consider the following sequence of 30 random numbers, guys. 81, 32, 60, so on. First 3 random numbers are for first trial. मतलब selling price, variable cost, volume. ऐसे you will need set of 3 random numbers as such, बेटा. ठीक है? Simulate the average profit. Requirement is to compute average. Once you compute all of these values as such, guys, you will have to take an average of all of those. ठीक है? शुरू करो, guys. Assign random numbers, compute profits at each of the scenario, guys, and then arrive at average profit. Yes, beta. असाइन कर दिया रैंडम नंबर्स. एक ही फाइनल कॉलम जब लिखते हैं ना, उसमें सेलिंग प्राइस माइनस वेरिएबल कॉस्ट इनटू वॉल्यूम माइनस 4000 इज इक्वल टू प्रॉफिट. Random numbers will be 00 to 19, 20 to 69, 70 to 99. This is for selling price, guys. Next beta is for variable cost. Variable cost beta, it is 1, 2 and 3 beta. Probabilities are 0.3, 0.6 and zero point 0.1. Cumulative probability beta would be 0.3, 0.9 and 1. Random numbers to be allocated 00 to 29, guys. 30 to 89, 90 to 99. After that, beta, sales volume. Your sales volume as such, guys, would be 2000, 3000 and 5000 units. Probabilities beta are 0.3, zero point 0.3 and zero point 0.4. Cumulative probability beta would be 0.3, zero point 0.6 and 1 beta. Random numbers to be allocated will be 00 to 29, 32, 59, 62, 99. Everyone got this beta? This is allocation of random numbers. Once you do this beta, you will have to start computing profits based on the values that are given there. ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स चेक कर लेना बेटा, आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है. Did we get the answer, guys? Average profit कितना है बेटा? The first one beta is selling price, next is variable cost, next is volume. Fixed cost is constant. You have to pick up random number and the corresponding value. Pele, you will write random numbers for all of them. It is 81, 32, 60, 04, 46, 31. This is given in the question beta 67, 25, 24, 10, 40, 02, 39, 68 and 8, 59, 66 and 90, 12, 64 and 79, 31, 86 and 68, 82, 89 and 25, 11, 98 and 16. These are the random numbers. Shubham, selling prices bull. 5343, 4434, 53. Variable cost 221, 22, 22, 22, 3. 5000, 3000. Array, 2000, 2000, 2000. 3 5s next. 2000, 2000. This is your sales volume, guys. एक second, मेरा online students, there seem to be a problem. Yes, beta. What will be your profit, guys? You'll write 5000 multiplied by 3 beta 15,000. Yes or no? Into 5 minus 2 minus 4000, guys. So this will give us 11,000. Sales volume multiplied by selling price minus variable cost minus fixed cost, guys. So यहाँ पे बेटा you will have 3000 multiplied by 3 minus 2, guys. Minus 4 लास्ट में भी कर सकते थे यार. So वैसे करे. I'll also write. तुम लोग contribution करे profit करे. I'll write contribution, guys. I'll compute average contribution. Finally, I will deduct fixed cost. So this will be 5000 into 3 beta 15,000, 3000 into 1 3000 beta 2000, 3 6000, 2000 ones, 2000, 2000 twos, 4000, 5000 twos, 10,000. This is 5000, this is 10,000, this is 6000 and this is 0. We'll add all of them beta 18, 24, 26, 30, 40, 50, 55, 661. Your total contribution beta is 61,000. What will be your average contribution, guys? Average contribution would be 61,000 divided by 10 runs, 6,100. From this you can deduct fixed cost of 4,000. What is your average profit? 2,100. Your average profit beta is 2,100 rupees. सबको आया बेटा सेम आंसर? क्या हुआ? डाउट है बेटा कुछ? उसमें are we all clear about this, guys? हो गया बेटा? क्या सोच रही है लहर? अच्छा नहीं है चैप्टर? ठीक ही है. I'll write to ICI beta that Leher thinks that the chapter is okayish. Please consider it. Write the next heading beta in your concept book, decision tree analysis. Decision tree analysis. What do you understand by decision tree analysis, guys? ये हो गया ना सबका? Yes, guys. What do you understand by decision tree analysis, guys? Independent variables throughout the course of the project. Variables can change. All right, beta. The actual meaning of the word decision tree analysis, beta, is to show the likely impact on the decisions that you might have to take on a later date because of the current decisions. Whatever investment decisions that we make as such, guys, might lead to more decisions as such, guys, on a later date, depending on whether the project is a success or the project is a failure. Plotting all of this as such, beta, in the form of a diagram is called as a decision tree. So the actual meaning is not just showing the cash flow. अपन के जो questions रहते हैं बेटा decision tree analysis बोल के they do not have subsequent decisions, so it is incorrect. But the meaning of the word decision tree beta is showing subsequent decisions का impact as such beta on the overall NPV. So for this beta we divide the scenarios as such guys situations into two things called as decisions and outcomes or events. Decision is something that is in your control. You have to decide whether you have to take it up or not. तो guys when you plot a decision tree or you make a decision tree बेटा जहाँ पे भी decision आ रहा है there we have to use a square box. This is the rule. Wherever there are events as such guys or outcomes you're supposed to use circles indicating that this is not in our control. So for decisions beta wherein you show boxes there is no probability because you have to decide that. But for outcomes as such guys because it is something that is not in your control you will have to see what is the chance of occurrence of those outcomes. You invest in a project. The selling price after a year can be 10 rupees or 20 rupees. Something that is not in your control. So ये selling prices के लिए मैं क्या use करूँगा? Square boxes or circles? Circles. After that, if the selling price turns out to be 10 rupees, I have an option of investing 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs. That is a decision that I have to take. I will have to use a square box. If the selling price turns out to be 30 rupees, I might decide to invest a higher amount. That is a decision that I have to take. Plotting all of this and then beta showing NPV still the final note is called as a decision tree. समझ में आ रहा है? Is that clear guys? More useful guys where there are subsequent decisions to be taken which will get impacted because of the decisions that you're taking today. If there are no subsequent decisions to be taken as such guys. क्या हुआ? अरे Are we clear about this? एक सेकंड बेटा यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है यार ग्रीन स्क्रीन का तू बोला तो वो भी देखा मैं भी. One second बेटा. थोड़ा ग्रीन स्क्रीन काम नहीं कर रहा हमारा. Is that clear guys? लिखो बेटा. Write down guys. Decision tree analysis. वो यहाँ पे हवा मारती है. ऐसे घूम के आ रही बेटा. Decision tree analysis. Write down बेटा. If investment decisions can have an impact, if investment decisions can have an impact on future investment decisions all the likely outcomes can be represented All the likely outcomes can be represented using a decision tree. Using a decision tree. Using a decision tree. For this, the situations are segregated into two categories. Situations are segregated into two categories. The first one is a decision. The first one is a decision. First one is a decision which the manager has to take. The second one, the first one is a decision which the manager has to take. The second one, online students, if there's any disturbance, but let me know. The second one are the outcomes of the decisions taken. Events or outcomes same है ना? Outcomes of the decisions taken. Outcomes of the decisions taken. Are we clear, guys? Which are beyond the control. Which are beyond the control of the manager. Beyond the control of the manager. Decisions are represented by square boxes. Decisions are represented by square boxes. Events by circles. Events by circles. ठीक है बेटा. Objective is क्या बेटा? To plot all the possible scenarios and write down the corresponding NPVs. Objective is to plot all the variables. Objective is to plot all the variables. Plot all the variables and write the corresponding NPVs. Write the corresponding NPVs. Corresponding NPVs. So let us solve question on this, guys. Well, question number 30, guys, and then 29 and then 28. Question number 30, guys, first. TMC is a venture capital financer. It received a proposal for financing requiring an investment of 45 crores, which will return 600 crores after 6 years if it succeeds. It requires an investment of 45 crores and the cash inflow as such would be 600 crores if the project succeeds. Pretty less return as such, guys, considering the probabilities. However, it may be possible that the project may fail at any time during the 6 years. SoftBank का investment है तो पक्का हो जाएगा. The following table provides the estimates of probabilities of the failures of the project. There's a 28% chance beta that the project will fail in the first year. ठीक है बेटा? In case the project succeeds in the first year, in case, there is a 25% chance that the project might fail in the second year. In case the project succeeds in the second year, then there is still a possibility that it might fail in the third year because it has to survive all the 6 years. In the above table, the probability that the project fails in the second year is given that it has survived throughout year 1. Obviously, but if it fails in the first year, you will not even talk about going to the second year. Only if it succeeds in the first year, you will talk about going to the second year. TMC is considering an equity investment in the project. Beta is only 7. The market return and risk-free rate are 8% and 6% respectively. You are required to compute the expected NPV of the venture capital project and advise TMC. Expected NPV compute करना है बेटा based on probabilities. Nice question, guys. Can you please think about it? Yes, beta. They've given us probabilities. They've given us that if you will get only one cash flow beta, that too at the end of 6th year, if the project succeeds. This is like the probability of Pakistan getting into the semi-finals now. Correct, no? हाँ? उनका इससे भी खराब है. 287 रन्स के मार्जिन से जीतना हो सकता ना पॉसिबल. 300 मारे 400 मारे तो फिर पॉसिबल है ना बेटा. 450 मारे तो सोच. हाँ, ये वर्ल्ड कप इंडिया में ना बेटा तो अच्छा खिलाते सबको. सब लोग कमाना ना प्रोसेस में. Anyways, Varun got the answer, guys. Yes, Varun. क्या है वो? एनपीवी आ गया देखो डायरेक्ट. यस बेटा. हीरो. मेरे को नहीं मालूम, मेरे को कैलकुलेट करना है. यस बेटा. Yes, beta. A couple of them have already answered it. The most important thing, beta, here is plotting that diagram. Remember, guys, ये है तो question decision tree का नहीं. मतलब there is nothing decision to be taken in the subsequent years as such, guys. So that is why this is not a case of decision tree. But then they classify the question under decision tree only, guys. So in the first year as such, beta, you have a decision to be taken. And what is that, beta? You either take up the project or you do not take up the project. That is some decision. Year 0 mein, beta. There is a decision that you will have to take in year 0 as such, guys. Either you invest or you do not invest. Correct? ऐसा decision tree में आता. अब ये भाड़ में गया, beta. So what will happen, guys, in year 1 is there is a 0.72% chance that the project will succeed. There is a 0.28% chance that the project will fail. If the project fails, it's the end of story. If the project succeeds in the first year, guys, there is a 0.75% chance that it will succeed in the second year. There is still a 0.25% chance that it will fail in the second year. Correct, beta? If it succeeds in the second year also as such, guys, for the third year, there is a 0.22% chance that it will fail, which means there's a 0.78% chance that it will succeed or survive the third year. After this, guys, year 4, there is still a 0.18% chance that it will fail in year 4, 0.82% chance that it will succeed. Year 5, guys, what is the chance of success? Beta, 0.82. Chance of failure, beta, is 0.18. Finally, beta, year 6. What is the chance of success? 0.90 success ka. Failure ka, beta, it is point. Now, for you to receive that 600 crores at the end of 6th year, the project has to survive all the 6 years. समझ में आ रहा है, guys? So the probability of success is 0.72 into 0.75788282 and 0.9. The project will have to survive all the 6 years as such, guys. 0.25489 will become the probability of success. Probability of failure will be 1 minus 0.25489. Sir, is there any alternative way of doing this? Yes. Probability of failure अगर करना है ना बेटा, ऐसे कर सकते हो. Failing in first year or succeeding in first year but failing in second year, or succeeding in first 2 years and failing in the third year, so on. बड़ा calculation हो जाएगा, not required. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं? See, guys, all of these cases the project is failing, no? ये 0.28, or it will go like this, or it will go like this, or it will go till the third year and then fail in the fourth year, or it will go till the fourth year and fail. If you keep adding all of them, you will still get 0.74511. उससे अच्छा है to compute probability of success and then take 1 minus that value. That will directly give us. Once you know what is the probability of success or failure, guys, you know what is the cash flow that you're going to get as such, guys. You know that the cash flow is how much, beta? 600 crores. You will arrive at the answer. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? So what is your expected cash flow, guys? Either you compute expected cash flow or you compute 2 NPVs. If the project fails, you end up losing 45 crores. If the project succeeds, you will get 600 crores. My expected cash flow, beta, at the end of year 6. कैसे करूँ मैं? I'll get 600 crores if the project succeeds, which is 0.25489. And I will get 0 if the project fails. How much will this be, guys? कैलकुलेट करके बोल ना बेटा, कैलकुलेटर सामने है ना, गैस क्यों कर रहा है? 150.93. This will become your expected cash flow, guys, at the end of year 6. You know what is your required rate of return, beta? Required rate of return कितना दिया हुआ है क्वेश्चन में? Required rate of return, guys, is RF plus beta into RM minus RF. Our risk-free rate is 6%, beta is 7, market return is 8%, so this will become 20%. Now all you have to do, beta, is compute present value of cash inflow, which will be 152.934 crores divided by 1.2 whole power 6. You're going to get only one cash flow at the end of 6th year. That is why divided by 1.2 whole power 6. How much is this? 50. You know that your initial investment, beta, is 45 crores. Therefore, NPV, beta, is 6.217 crores. Take it up. Positive NPV. समझ में आ रहा है, guys? But remember, this is an expected scenario, guys. Actual scenario is either 600 or nothing. Do it, guys. Copy करो बेटा. Yes, guys. आया बेटा. इसके बाद में बेटा क्वेश्चन नंबर 24. Done with the 24th one. सॉरी मैं पिछले पेज में चले गया. 29th one. After this, question number 29, guys. What will be the advice beta here? Should the company take up the project? Yes, because the project has a positive NPV. Yes, beta. Are you all done with this? Question number 29, guys. A firm has an investment proposal requiring an outlay of 80,000 rupees. The investment proposal is expected to have 2 years of economic life with no salvage value. In year 1, there's a 0.4% probability that the cash inflow after tax will be 50,000, and there's a 0.6% probability better that the cash inflow after tax will be 60,000. The probabilities assigned to cash inflows after tax for year 2 is as follows. Depending on what is the cash flow in the first year, guys, your cash flow in the second year will change. So if it is 50,000 in year 1, you will get 24, 32, 44 in year 2. If it is 60,000 in year 1, you may get 40, 50 or 60,000 in year 2. The firm uses a 10% discounting rate. Construct a decision tree for the proposed investment project and calculate the expected NPV. What NPV will the project yield if the worst outcome is realized? What is the probability of the occurrence of this? What is the best outcome? Will the project be accepted? Normal, guys. You will have to construct an NPV as a decision tree. मतलब पूरे nodes बताना है बेटा, and you will have to show what is the end outcome. How much is the NPV at each of these nodes? Can we do that? Normal question, basic question, nothing complicated, guys. क्या हो गया already? Yes, beta. You will have to show the entire tree as such, guys. क्या बोल रहा है बेटा? Year 1 में, what are the two outcomes possible? In year 1, once you invest as such, guys, it can be 50,000 beta in year 1. The probability of which is how much beta? 0.4. Or guys, the cash flow can be 60,000. The probability of which is 0.6. Depending on what is happening in year 1, guys, there are 3 outcomes in year 2, guys. क्या है बेटा वो? Year 2 में cash flow, guys, can be 24,000, 32,000 and 44,000. The probabilities of which beta are 0.2, 0.3, 0.5. Or it can be 40,000, 50,000 and 60,000. The probabilities of which beta are 0.4, 0.5 and 0.1. What will you do beta after this? Huh? Write joint probabilities beta first, because you will also have to identify expected NPV. Expected NPV के लिए बाद में probabilities compute करने से अच्छा है यहीं पे कर लो. Joint probability मतलब क्या guys? ये पूरे outcome का possible scenario कितना है? 50,000 in year 1, 24,000 in year 2. What is the probability of that? 0.4 into 0.2, 0.08. 50,000 in year 1, 32,000 in year 2. Guys, समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? These are the probabilities of different outcomes, guys. Once you get these different outcomes, you're supposed to arrive at NPV at each of these possible nodes. You know how to compute NPV, right? Once you do this, better arrive at the NPVs at each of these nodes. You will have to compute NPVs at all of these nodes better. इतना छोटा डायग्राम बनाई कहाँ लिखती रहे NPV? वहां पे लिखना रहता बाजू में. इसको देख, फैमिली ट्री बना रही, दो बच्चे, बच्चों के तीन तीन बच्चे, शादी नहीं करे वो लोग अभी तक. ज्यादा स्पेस लगता कहते हैं. बाजू में एनपीवीज कंप्यूट करना कहता. हाउ विल यू कंप्यूट फर्स्ट मेथड? 24,000 divided by 1.1 whole square plus 50,000 divided by 1.1 minus initial investment. ऐसे you will have 6 different NPVs now. अच्छा नहीं मालूम था आगे क्या करना है बल्कि. The question says no, construct a decision tree and compute NPVs. So every node पे you have to write NPVs there. These guys. What will be the NPV guys at the first case guys? You know how to compute NPV, no? 711. Next. 80. Huh? 1818. 7603. 868. 13. How are we getting those NPVs? मालूम है ना बेटा? You have to discount 24,000 of year 2 and 50,000 of year 1. That will give us the first NPV. Next, we have to discount 32,000 and 50,000 and then compare with the amount of initial investment. You have to compute all the NPVs, beta. Please do not directly write the answers. We know bolke. The present value factors are given in the question, guys. तुम लोग सब same factors use करे ना? The present value factors given in the question. कोई भी यूज नहीं किया? स्ट्राइक कर दो बेटा वो. नहीं नहीं स्ट्राइक कर दो बेटा. पूरे लोग कैसे आंसर्स चेंज करते? स्ट्राइक द. नहीं प्रणव तू ना को स्ट्राइक कर. बाकी सब लोग स्ट्राइक कर दो बेटा प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फैक्टर्स. हाँ हाँ क्वेश्चन में स्ट्राइक कर दो प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फैक्टर्स. नहीं 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 आंसर नहीं बेटा. क्वेश्चन में प्रेजेंट वैल्यू फैक्टर्स स्ट्राइक कर दो. प्रणव तू मत कर. तू तेरा आंसर से कंटिन्यू कर बेटा. Yes, guys, just one more minute. Online students are all doing it better. I'm done with the calculations. ही asked me yesterday, my son, कि बच्चे होमवर्क करके आते क्या? मैं बोला नहीं करके आते थोड़े बच्चे, पेजेस एम्प्टी छोड़ देते। मैं बोला नहीं बेटा, इट इज नॉट लाइक योर स्कूल कि where teacher writes homework and they give the question, then what do? Teacher does not beat them. बोला no, they're all grown ups, they know what they need in life, that is why they're not solving homework questions. So I can also do that after a couple of years. Well, yes guys, को कभी लाके बताना तुम लोग को कैसे, बोल के तुम लोग आते सोते कॉपी करते चले जाते। इनको तो ये भी नहीं मालूम होगा कि अगर 6:15 है तो अपन को 6 o'clock आना पड़ता बोल के भी उसको। इफ द स्कूल स्टार्ट्स एट 8:30 दे सपोज टू बी देयर बाय 8:15 8:10। इफ इट स्टार्ट्स बाय 8 o'clock दे सपोज टू बी देयर बाय 7:40। यहाँ पे if it starts at 6:15 it means we can come anytime after 7 till 9:15. Yes beta, बोलो guys, what is the expected NPVs guys? Expected NPV, first bit का आंसर कितना है बेटा? How will you arrive at expected NPV? Multiply all of these beta with joint probabilities. Please do not multiply with probability of the second year. We have to see the combined impact guys. Did you all get these NPVs? Roma beta Sakshi, आया क्या आंसर? Whatever NPVs that you got as such beta, please multiply. Negative 14,711 into 0.08, negative 8099 into 0.12, so on till 24,132 into 0.06. कितना आया expected NPV? वही नहीं किए बस 6248 6248, बाकी कोई नहीं किया बेटा। They're all having fun. They know that he will write on the board no, then he'll copy बोल के। कितना है देखो 95 खुशी 6248, वो नेगेटिव एनपीवी है बेटा स्टार्टिंग के। You will write negative 14,711 into 0.08. First वाले का combined probability is 0.08. Negative 8099 into 0.12. Thereafter guys all positive NPVs. 1818 beta into 0.2. 7603 into 0.24. 15868 into 0.3. 24132 into 0.06. एक बार वापस बोलो बेटा 6248. This will become your expected NPV guys. Your answer to the final bit beta should be based on this expected NPV only guys. नहीं आ रहा है? स्टार्टिंग के दोनों माइनस है बेटा, तो पहले ये सब कंप्यूट करके वो कर लेना। तू वो प्लस किया था ना, कैलकुलेटर प्लस कर लिया। तेरी बीवी जैसे बिहेव कर रहा कैलकुलेटर जो एब्सेंट है। यस बेटा 6248 done. Tell me the answer to the second and third bit guys. What will be the NPV guys if the worst outcome is realized? Negative 14,711. What is the chance of occurrence? 0.08. Best outcome 24,132. Chance of occurrence 0.06. Second bit mein beta we will have to write worst possible NPV. Worst possible NPV beta is negative 14,711. Probability beta is 8%. एक बार क्या किया था बेटा, I do not know this question or another question CA final में, they multiplied these negative and मतलब all the NPVs with probabilities. जो value आ रहा था ना उसके basis पे decided which is the worst possible scenario and which is the best possible scenario. So not necessary that this will be the best possible scenario. They multiplied this with this. This was giving them a higher product. And they gave a conclusion in the examination that 15,868 is the best possible outcome. Which is, उसके बाद में तमाशा हुआ obviously, but then the whole point of probability is what better? That you will not pick up the value after multiplying by probability. The worst scenario is 14,711 and the chance is 0.08. What is the best possible scenario, guys? Best possible NPV 24,132. The probability of occurrence beta is 0.06. Will the project be accepted? Fourth bit, yes. Why yes? Expected NPV is positive. Because the expected NPV is positive, guys, the project should be accepted. That will be the answer. Jaldi likho beta conclusion and then let us start question number 28. Online students, I hope you are all clear beta. क्या इसको भी साफ कर दिया? Yes, beta. Is anyone still doing this? Image gallery full नहीं हुई अभी तक. Image gallery full नहीं हुआ. Shall we start, guys? Pranav, I better answer. This is the only question given under decision tree in the material. बाकी के भी decision tree बोल के दिया बेटा 29th वाला, but that is not actually decision tree. L&R Limited wishes to develop new virus cleaner software. The cost of the pilot project would be rupees 2,40,000. Presently, the chances of the product being successfully launched on a commercial scale are rated at 50%. In case you decide to invest as such beta 2,40,000, that's a decision that you have to take. There's a 50% chance. यहाँ पे बेटा decision tree proper वाला करना पड़ेगा with those square boxes and circles. All right. There's a 50% chance that the project may succeed, 50% chance that the project may fail. In case it succeeds, L&R can invest a sum of rupees 20 lakhs to market the product. Such an effort can generate perpetuity and annual net after-tax cash income of rupees 4 lakhs. In case the commercial launch fails, they can make an investment of a smaller amount of rupees 12 lakhs with the hope of gaining perpetually a sum of rupees 1 lakh. Evaluate the proposal adopting the decision tree approach. Today you have a decision to make. What is that? Either put in that 2,40,000 or not. If you put in that 2,40,000, guys, if you do not put in that 2,40,000, end of decision tree. उसके बाद में कुछ नोट नहीं आएगा. But if you put that 2,40,000, guys, two scenarios, two outcomes of that decision that you're taking. Either it succeeds or it fails. If it succeeds, again a decision that you have to take. Should you invest 20 lakhs or not? Compulsory करना है बोल के कहीं नहीं दिया है बेटा. You will have to decide whether that 20 lakhs should be invested or not. It's a further decision. If the project fails, again there's a decision to be taken. Should you invest that 12 lakhs or not? समझ में आ रहा है? Yes or no? The cost of capital is given as ये hope का बेटा there's no significance because let us assume that if you invest 12 lakhs you will get 1 lakh every year. वो hope नहीं है मतलब that is at least certain because अगर वो भी hope है then things will go for a toss there. You understood the question, guys? एक बार decision tree attempt करो बेटा. I'll show you the actual decision. मतलब तुम्हारा भी correct ही होगा. I'm so sorry. You understood, right, guys? 3 cases where decisions are coming better. Today and after a year, depending on whether the project is success or failure. After a year नहीं, मतलब जब भी है वो. Yes kids, करूं? Question number 28 guys. Today you have a decision to be made guys. This decision beta is what? Decision कहते हैं. Invest 2 lakh 40 or do not invest. In case you invest 2 lakh 40, यहाँ से there are two outcomes that are possible. The project is a success, और ये सर्किल क्यों करे सर यहाँ पे? वो दो आउटकम बताने के लिए. और the outcome is a failure. What's the probability of success? Probability of failure 0.5. If it is a success, you have a decision to be taken. What is that decision? Invest 20 lakhs. Generate how much beta? 4 lakhs per annum. Or do not invest. That is a decision that you will have to take. In case the project is a failure, you have a decision. Invest 12 lakhs and generate 1 lakh per annum. Or do not invest. This will be your decision tree guys. You can give them the names beta, ताकि नीचे कंक्लूजन में इजी रहेगा. अभी इवैल्यूएट करेंगे ना रिवर्स में. स्टार्ट विद सी, स्टार्ट विद डी. एट सी व्हाट इज बेटर, बिकॉज दिस इज अ डिसीजन टू बी. अब वो क्या होगा बेटा, एक सेकंड पे अटेंशन. कपल ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स बेटा डायरेक्टली रोट ओनली वन आउटकम हियर. Invest 20 lakhs. If you show only one line after that, you are telling me that irrespective of whether it is profit or loss, you will have to take it up. If it is loss, you have an option of exiting. That is why it is incorrect to show only one outcome. At point C guys, if you show only one outcome, you are telling me that you will be under an obligation to take up the project, which is incorrect. ये लिखे बेटा. अभी रिवर्स ऑर्डर में कंक्लूड करना है बेटा. देखो आ गया, आंसर आ गया. प्रेजेंट वैल्यू 2 लाख 40 का कर भी नहीं सकते, टाइम पीरियड दिया ही नहीं बेटा. यू हैव टू इग्नोर इट. No, I will give a note कि time value should be considered, but we do not have the time value component. Right guys, यहाँ तक लिखे बेटा. अभी ये बोलो बेटा, at point C, पहले सुन लो बेटा, then we'll write. At point C guys, in case you decide to invest, how much will you generate every year? 4 lakhs. How do you compute present value of perpetuity guys? Cash flow divided by discounting factor. Yes or no? Present value of constant perpetuity. If the cash flows are constant every year, you will directly divide cash flow by discounting rate. 4 lakhs divided by 10%. How much is that? 40 lakhs. Will you invest 20 lakh rupees to get a cash flow of 40 lakhs? Yes. No doubt about it, beta. Here the most better way. What is a better alternative here? Invest. If you invest, you will get an NPV of 20 lakhs. How NPV of 20 lakhs? Present value of cash inflows is 40 lakhs. You will have to invest 20 lakhs. The differential amount is 20 lakhs. बेटा, in case the project is a failure, तो ये नहीं आएगा बेटा. Do not invest will not come because you will take up the project in case the project succeeds. In case the project is a failure, guys, present value of cash inflows is how much? 1 lakh divided by 10%, it is 10 lakhs. How much do you have to invest? 12 lakhs. NPV will be negative 2 lakhs. You will ignore invest. It is better to in case it succeeds, you will invest. In case it fails, better, you will not invest. Now, what is the probability of success? 0.5. So there's a 50% chance that you will get an NPV of 20 beta. There's a 50% chance that your NPV will be 0. Do not write negative 2 lakhs because we will not invest. So 20 lakhs into 0.5, 0 into 0.5. Expected NPV beta is 10 lakhs. And how much should you invest, guys, for this expected NPV of 10 lakhs? 2 lakh 40. We do not know the time gap between these two as such, guys. Okay? We will ignore. So should you take up the project? Yes, because the amount of investment is only 2 lakh 40, but the expected NPV beta is 10 lakhs. We should take up and then we'll see what is to be done. समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है? Write down, guys. At point C, at point C, at point C, if the project is taken up, at point C, if the project is taken up, the present value of cash inflows will be, 4 lakhs divided by 10%, 40 lakhs. 4 lakhs divided by 10%. 4 lakhs divided by 10%, 40 lakhs. Investment required is 20 lakhs. Investment required is 20 lakhs. Therefore, NPV will be positive 20 lakhs. NPV will be positive 20 lakhs. So we should invest. We should invest. We should invest. Next beta. At point D, at point D, at point D, if we invest, the present value of cash inflows will be, the present value of cash inflows will be 1 lakh divided by 10%, 1 lakh divided by 10%, 10 lakhs. 1 lakh divided by 10%, 10 lakhs. 10 lakhs. Investment required is 12 lakhs. Investment required is 12 lakhs. NPV will be negative. NPV will be negative 2 lakhs. NPV will be negative 2 lakhs. Negative 2 lakhs. So what should you do better? So at point D, we will not invest. At point D, we will not invest. We will not invest. So guys, abhi dekho beta. So there are two alternatives. If you invest 2.4 lakhs today, what will happen beta? It can be a success, it can be a failure. If it's a success beta, what is your NPV? Positive 20 lakhs. If it's a failure, NPV is 0. Negative 2 lakhs. We are under no obligation because what did we select here? But if it's a failure, do not invest. If it's a success, what did we choose? Invest. So this is 0.5, 0.5. So what will be your expected NPV, guys? You will write 20 lakhs into 0.5 plus 0 into 0.5. कितना हो जाएगा? 10 lakhs. So by investing 2.4 lakhs, you are expected to generate an NPV of 10 lakhs. Therefore, we should invest 2.4 lakhs in that pilot run जो भी है बेटा today. Write this better now. Show this calculation better now. लिखे बेटा ये, एनी डाउट इन दिस? क्या लिखोगे बेटा? फाइनल कंक्लूजन, देयरफॉर क्या बेटा? वी शुड इन्वेस्ट in the pilot project. We should invest 2.4 lakhs in the pilot project. We should invest 2.4 lakhs in the pilot project. ठीक है, नीचे नोट लिखो बेटा. Time value component on investment of 2.4 lakhs has been ignored. Time value component on investment of 2.4 lakhs has been ignored. Time value component on investment of 2.4 lakhs has been ignored. Has been ignored. Why, guys? As the time period has not been specified. As the time period has not been specified. As the time period has not been specified. हाँ, तो कितना टाइम गैप है नहीं दिया बेटा. अगर 1 year रहता समझ, I would have discounted 10 lakhs for 1 more year because that expected NPV will be at the end of year 1 year. So 10 lakhs divided by 1.1 and then compare with 2.4 lakhs minus 2.4. 10 lakhs directly with 2.4 lakhs because I do not know what is the time gap. If the pilot project takes beta 6 months, then time value component should be for 6 months. Actual NPV as of now is 10 lakhs minus 2.4. वो लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, बस it is whether you should invest or not. Yes, we should invest because you're getting a higher benefit. That's it. Nothing else is required. All right, guys. पायलट प्रोजेक्ट का एनपीवी वही रहेगा ना, और क्या रहेगा. चलिए स्टार्ट न्यू कॉन्सेप्ट बेटा. 9.5 हो रहा है. हाँ, और एक क्वेश्चन छोड़ा बीच में, कैसे देख रहे हैं, छोड़ दे के. ऑल राइट गाइस, चलो एंड ऑफ सेशन बेटा. नो होमवर्क क्वेश्चंस. आई विल सी यू टुमारो. गाइस याद रखना बेटा, द नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट इज कैपिटल बजटिंग विद इन्फ्लेशन. एज सच गाइस इंपॉर्टेंट वन, समथिंग दैट यू डिड नॉट डू अर्लियर. ऑल राइट, चलो बेटा, सी यू गाइस टुमारो बेटा. बाय बाय.